Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Key-nomics. My name is Olutayo, and today we shall be talking about the benchmark interest rate. Now before you ask, what does this have to do with me? Let me quickly explain how much it actually affects you. First off, the interest rate, which is called monetary policy rate (MPR) in Nigeria, is currently at 18%. This MPR is the rate at which the CBN lends to commercial banks, and this forms the basis for lending to customers. For perspective, this time last year, the interest rate was 11.5%, which means it increased by a whole 6.5%, which is 650 basis points. Also, 18% is the highest interest rate the country has had since 2007, according to records. According to the CBN, the increase in interest rates is to reduce the effects of the increasing inflation in the country. Now let's go into how the interest rate affects you in particular. Number one, it affects your purchasing power, which is basically your ability to buy things. The increase in interest rates leads to an increase in the cost of borrowing, which in turn means an increase in cost of production for businesses. This leads to the burden of cost being pushed to the customers in form of higher prices of goods, which means individuals pay more for such goods. Next, it affects revenue. Business revenue is also affected as high interest rates reduces the ability of businesses to access cheap funding. So highly leveraged businesses will refinance their debt at expensive rates, which could affect the cash flow of the business. And lastly, it affects our general standard of living. The standard of living drops as the increased interest rates decreases our purchasing power. This means that people struggle to afford the lives they were living previously on the same income level. This increased interest rate will generally affect a lot of things, even down to things like rent, because landlords or mortgages with high interest rates will ultimately transfer to the customers or tenants in the form of higher rent. But it is not all gloom and doom. The positive side to this rate increment is in how it affects your savings. The increased NPR encourages us to save more, as an increase in interest rates means an increase in savings interest, making it more attractive to save with banks. The deposit interest rate is now 30% of NPR. Effectively, your bank gives back up to 5.4% per annum to you for acting as the custodian of your savings. It may seem like everything is showing gloom, but as we said earlier, the higher interest rate also means higher deposit rates. So you can deposit your funds in your Keystone account today to enjoy the increased interest rates and for even higher rates. If you are an aggressive saver, Keystone Bank's high interest savings account, ISA, is what you need to make the most of the situation, as it pays even higher than the regular savings plan. You can walk into any of our branches today to inquire about the right savings plan for your budget, or call the customer care numbers on the screen to speak to our agents. Alternatively, go to our website www.keystonebankng.com to get more information and take advantage of the increased yield on savings today. Thank you, and see you on the next episode of Key-nomics.